Hello guys, I am Bhumi. Welcome back to my channel. So in this section we are going to talk about conditions for perpendicularity of lines in term of slope. So let's suppose you have a Cartesian plane. Okay, in this plane you have one angle as acute angle, which is alpha, and one angle as obtuse angle, and that line must be perpendicular to this line. So let's suppose I am drawing a perpendicular to it like this. As you know that we count the angle from this line as like this. Here the angle is acute and here the angle is obtuse. What do acute and obtuse mean? Acute is smaller than 90 degrees and obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Okay, here the angle is greater than 90 degrees. Let's suppose this is our beta angle. You know that as these are perpendicular here. Okay, now what this beta is equal to? This beta is equal to alpha plus 90 degrees, or you can say that this will equal to 180 minus beta. Is it right? This 180 minus beta plus alpha plus 90 is equal to 180. Alpha plus 180 minus beta plus 90 degrees is equal to 180. This 180 will get cancelled out and you get as alpha minus beta plus 90 degree equals to 0. This will go there. It will form as alpha is equal to beta is equal to 90 plus alpha. As beta is equal to 90 plus alpha, now we can say here that this tan beta, which is we are finding that this beta, tan of this beta is equal to tan 90 plus alpha, because here it is we have find that beta is equal to 90 plus alpha. For this tan 90 plus alpha, we need to draw again a Cartesian plane. This is 90 degrees and let's suppose this is our alpha. This is our alpha. Now what you need to do is draw a parallel line to it. First of all, parallel line to our x-axis, then parallel line to our y-axis, and form a rectangle. Okay. As you know, this line is parallel to this, then this angle will be also alpha. And about that why these alternate interior angles are equal, I have uploaded a new video earlier. Here this is 90 degrees, this is also 90 degrees. You know that what this angle is, 90 minus alpha, right? And you know that if you are finding tan of this angle, which is then equal to tan of 90 minus alpha, that means this angle is equal to tan 90 minus alpha. You know that what tan 90 minus alpha is? It is cot alpha. That means you can say that this is our alpha and this, and if we are finding the tan of this angle, then this will equal to cot alpha. Now we does not have put in our signs. We know that if you put any angle here and you take out that cot, that will be the positive one. But here in this second quadrant, you know, to find that why this is negative, you can say that if this is your angle, let's suppose this angle as theta, then quote of this, what the quote of this will be? This adjacent divided by this opposite. This adjacent divided by this opposite, right? When you divide this adjacent by opposite, you will find that this adjacent is in negative in magnitude and this is positive in magnitude. When this is negative and this positive, the resultant will also be negative, right? That means the value you get from here will be negative quote alpha. Is it right? So now what I need to tell you is that this tan 90 plus alpha will equal to minus quote alpha. Okay, this is our minus quote alpha. Is that clear to you? Now what you need to know is that this quote can be written as 1 divided by tan alpha. Now this minus sign have been written. Now this will be equal to tan beta, as we are finding all these of tan beta. Then this, we know that this tan beta is what? This tan beta is what? This was our line number first. You can say that this our line number first, so the slope is m1, and this was our line number 2, then this slope is m2. So what this is, m1 equals to minus 1 by m2. Is that clear? That means m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1. Now we need to find the conclusion that why this minus sign. If we see that if we put any value of m1 and any value of m2, then why we get minus 1 only, why not the positive one? Okay, these all will be discussed in the conclusion. So first of all, understand that when the angle is obtuse, then why the slope that comes out is negative. In simple words, many of the people says that when the line is in the right side, that means when the angle is acute, then your slope will be always positive. And when the line is obtuse, that means if the line is in the left side, then that means if the angle is obtuse, then the slope you get will always be negative. Why these lines are said? So in this conclusion which we are finding, we will study about that. Take here a Cartesian plane first of all. Now draw an obtuse angle which will be like this. Why I have drawn in this direction, why not in this direction? Because I know that I count the angle from here to here, and while counting this here to here, we know that if the angle is below 90, then that it means that, let's suppose this is our normal line, and if it is in this direction, then we said that the all lines are in the right direction, and if it is in this direction, then we said that all lines are in left direction. So when this line is in left direction, that means the angle is more than 90 degrees, and if the line is in right direction, then we say that the angle is less than 90 degrees. Okay, so that's why I have drawn this line in left direction. Okay, is that clear? So this is our angle which I am taking as beta. Okay, now what you need to observe is that, let's suppose this is our point and this is our point, of which we need to find the slope. As you know that it is a higher point, so I am referring it as the point x2 and y2. It is not compulsory that when the point is higher, then you need to put it as x2 only, not x1. You can do anything, but according to books it is x2, then it will be x1 and y1. Okay, this distance from our x-axis to upward is our y1. This distance from our y-axis to this point is x1. Is it clear? This distance from our x-axis to that point is the y2, and this distance from y-axis to this point is x2. These all are perpendicular lines. Okay, this is perpendicular, this is perpendicular, this is perpendicular, this is also, then this is also, then this is also. All these are perpendicular to each other. Now what I need to tell you all is that you know that this is our beta, this is our beta, then what this will be? 180 minus beta. Is it right? As we know that this line is parallel to this line and this is a transversal, then this will also be 180 minus beta, and this will equal to what? This angle will equal to what? Beta only. What we need to find is that we know that the slope is equal to tan theta. Here our theta is beta. So here tan beta. This beta is obtuse. Is that right? This is obtuse. Now you know that this tan beta, you need to state this angle as theta. Okay, what you need to do is that tan 180 minus theta is equal to tan beta. Tan 180 minus theta is equal to tan beta. Is it clear? So this is equal to tan beta. That what I need to tell you is, you know that tan 180 minus theta is what? Tan theta, but negative in magnitude. For this you can again need to draw a Cartesian plane, and let's suppose this is our theta angle, this is our theta angle. Is that right? What we need to find is tan beta. Is this tan beta is 180 minus theta. Okay, what do we need to find? This tan beta. We know that this tan beta, if we are finding this tan beta, this will equal to tan theta. Okay, but as you know that tan theta in the second quadrant is negative in magnitude. Same the reason that because we state that is that the opposite divided by the adjacent, and this adjacent is negative in magnitude, so the resultant will be also negative in magnitude. Okay, that means the tan theta will negative in magnitude. That means this tan beta will equal to negative tan theta. Is it clear? Now what I need to tell you all is that this beta, this equal to this tan beta is equal to negative tan theta. Okay, so first of all think what the slope of this will be. You know that to find the slope you need to know the tan beta, and this tan beta is equal to minus tan theta. So first of all you need to state this line divided by this line. What this line is? Whole y2 minus y1. y2 minus y1. This is our whole y2. The distance from here to here is y2, and the distance from here to here is y1. So when you subtract this y1 from this y2, then you get this distance. Okay, when this is divided by whole distance, which is x1, divided x1 subtracted x2, x1 minus x2 is equal to this distance. This is our x1, This is our x2. When you subtract this x1 from this x2, you get this line. This will be your adjacent to this angle. Now what you need to state is that you know that this slope is minus tan theta equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x1 minus x2. This negative sign you can state like that, negative here also, negative here also, and then this negative will cancel out with this negative, and this negative will go there. Also you can state as taking negative common from this, you will get a positive here, negative here, and the negative which is here will go there and form this also as the positive one, and this negative will be go there. That means this will be then equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So if you think slightly deeperly, then you will observe that when you were finding this y2 minus y1 divided by x1 minus x2, you were getting the positive slope. Is it right? Why? Because you know, if you subtract smaller side from the bigger side, you get the positive number, and if you subtract the bigger side from the smaller side, then you get the negative number. So what I need to tell you is that here, if you think that if you take out the slope as y2 minus y1 divided by x1 minus x2, then here you will observe that y2 is this, and y1, this is y2, and this is y1. So y2 minus y1 will give you the positive number, okay? And when you subtract this x2 from this x1, means if we are subtracting this part, you get this, and this will be also positive. Then you get this as positive. But keep one thing in mind, that this is equal to minus tan theta, and we know that the slope is equal to tan theta only. That means the slope that you are getting will be negative. Just leave that topic, that the slope you are getting is negative. Do not think about that. Firstly, I need to tell you is that the slope is always tan theta, and if you know that your slope of this point up to this point is this, but this is equal to minus tan theta, and you need to find the slope. So you just take out this minus and make that minus here, and you will find that this will be get minus and this will get plus. Now what is happening is that this will be then converted into x2 minus x1, means final resultant will be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now think what x2 minus x1 is. x2 is what? This distance. If you subtract this whole distance from this distance, then you get this distance negative in number. Is that right? When you subtract this bigger distance from this smaller one, then you get negative number of this distance. What does this mean? This means that the answer you get from this will be negative, and the answer you get from this will be positive, and the resultant answer you get from positive divided by negative is negative. Because you know that something like plus and negative, it can be written as negative in magnitude. It is negative in magnitude. That means this will also will be negative in magnitude. Is that right? That's why we say when the line which is in left direction, then the line will have negative slope. Is that right? What I need to tell you is that you know that the slope you are getting by this line, the slope you are getting by this line is same in with formula in like where's the formula here. The slope you are getting by the formula in this line is the same as the slope you are getting by this formula. Okay, means the formula in both cases are same, but where the difference come in the resulting slope is that the slope you get here is positive and the slope you get here, because of the negative sign, the resultant which was the positive, it may that negative sign make the resultant negative. That means the answer you get will be negative, means the slope you get will be now negative. And if you need that what the slope of the positive one, then you can say that here if you find from this point to this point, then as it is an acute angle, right, it is an acute angle, that means the slope is positive. Why does this is said all time? Because you need to know that this is our whole y2. Is that clear? This is whole our y2 and this is whole our y2 and this is our y1. So what this side will be? Y2 minus y1. And what this side will be? This whole is our x2, this whole is our x2, and this is our x1. So what this will be? X2 minus x1. You know that if you subtract this shorter from this bigger, you get the positive, and you again will subtract this shorter one from this bigger one, then you again will get the positive, and you when divide this positive by positive, you get the answer as positive. And in this case, this was a converse of that, means you need to know that because of that negative sign, the answer we were getting by x1, what was x1 here, is by x1 minus x2 was positive, but the negative sign of tan theta make this x1 negative and x2 positive, means x2, this x2, what this x2 is, this x2 is this. You need to now subtract this whole x1 by x2, which will give your answer as negative. Okay, so now come back to our topic. So first of all, I will tell you, I have told you that why the line which is left inside means that having the obtuse angle is having the negative slope, and the line in the right direction have the positive slope. Okay, that's clear to you? I hope that is quite clear and will. Okay, so coming back to our topic, that why m2 into m1 is equal to minus 1. So what was I telling to you? This slope, one slope must be, you know that while you have any line here and perpendicular to it, you have the other line. In this case, one angle must be acute and one angle must be obtuse. Why does this said? To make an right angle triangle, one angle must be obtuse and one angle must be acute, means you know that angle must be counted from this line. That means this is obtuse and this is acute. This is our obtuse angle, this is our acute angle. So just think, if this was an acute angle, let's draw that also. If this was an acute angle, then this will be our obtuse angle, right? Because you know, when you subtract acute angle from 180 degrees, means if you subtract one smaller than the angle which is smaller than 90, you will get the angle which is larger than 90, means you get the obtuse angle, and this will our acute angle. if you know that if you want a right angle triangle, then in this triangle these two angles are the sum of 90, and if one angle will be the larger than 90 degrees, then these cannot be the sum, because you know that let's suppose this is theta 1 and this theta 2. If you just add them, you get it as 90 degrees in right angle triangle. But if one will be larger than 90 degree, let's suppose this is 100, so can you get the sum as 90? No. That means if you have both as acute, then you can't get the triangle as the right angle triangle. So you need to have one obtuse. If you will have one obtuse, then you can get this as acute angle. That means the sum of these angle can be now 90 degrees, and the triangle you are forming, it can be right angle triangle. Okay, this means if one is obtuse angle, that means I have told you if any angle is obtuse and we are finding its slope, then the slope will be negative in magnitude, right? To have the perpendicularity, that means one angle must be obtuse. As I have told before, one angle must be obtuse, and if one is obtuse, that means there is someone who have the slope as the negative in magnitude. Okay, let's suppose this m1 has the slope in negative in magnitude, negative, and this m2 has slope. Obviously, if someone has negative in magnitude, that means if someone has obtuse angle, then the other one has acute. That means if other one has acute, it too will have the positive slope. And if you multiply a number which is a negative and by the positive, you get the negative number, and that's why we write here as -1, not the positive one. Is that clear? Thank you.